This is Joe Costello's WFO Radio Ignition. Covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA drag racing.
Hey guys, just want to let you know, WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Costello.
WFO, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to WFO Radio Ignition, another podcast for another week. Welcome back, and I appreciate everybody checking out the show. If you're a new listener or a first-time listener, welcome to you. On this program, we will be covering NASCAR, a little NHRA drag racing, a little Formula One, but mostly just having a good time and running the gamut of subjects and topics, with exception of certain stuff, like we don't get political on the program. But other than that, we are all over the place. We got the SportsCollision on the show. We're going to talk MLB playoffs. We're going to talk about the Miami Dolphins, talking Super Bowl, baby. 3-0, all that on the show. Now, of course it is NASCAR Ignition is what you see when the tweets go out. But I'm wondering, after the television ratings for last week's race from Richmond, which I didn't really see other than highlights because of me being out there at the NHRA Mellow Yellow Drag Racing Series in St. Louis, I was stunned at the television rating. What is going on with the NASCAR fandom? They've really just totally and fundamentally checked out. A 1.0 rating. We're going to get into it. I'm a little bit shocked. I don't understand it. Now, everybody's ratings are down. But this is, I don't know, is it alarming? Is it troubling? Is it the indication of something bigger? Is this the canary in the coal mine? Is a meteor going to hit the earth? What's going on? I don't know. But we're going to delve into it. And I had a great time out there in St. Louis. Ran into a bunch of WFO radio listeners. Robert Height wins funny car, big explosion, body flying through the air. You can find that out there on the social media. Steve Torrance getting the win. Steve-O on WFO NHRA Nitro. If you did not hear that show, you really need to hear Steve, because he is, I keep saying on a mission. And he clearly is. He's on a mission. He is on a mission to go out there and win the championship. Could he possibly sweep the whole countdown? I guess it's possible, but unlikely. But the guy is on a mission. Tanner Gray going to stock car racing. Tanner Gray going to go to the round track world and has got a 3-year deal and is already announced. And this is his final year in pro stock. Talked to us on NHRA Nitro and gave us his reasoning. He feels like they do a better job of promoting young drivers and that he's got a shot to be successful and make it to the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. Wow. And if that was to be true, you almost can't blame him. Because even though NASCAR is in some sort of a weird plummet, back to earth, 1.0 rating, shocking. Tanner Gray could still go over there and have a good career, and if he can run in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, he's got to do it. That's a rare deal. Those guys are making millions of dollars, getting paid a paycheck, millions of dollars, and you got to do it. We had Stevie Fast on the show. Steve Jackson got a huge social media contingent that follows him around. And Matt Smith, NHRA Nitro in the books, and it was great stuff. Now, you might be wondering, you might be saying to yourself, like, where's Giovanni in Miami? Where is this guy? And what happened to the Monday shows? What's the story with that? And there's a whole lot of reasons. Some I will, put out there and tell you, like, honestly, Monday I got off a plane, and then the poker guys showed up, and then Gio was here, and we were here, and we sat here, and we just were not ready to do a show and have it be entertaining. We just weren't ready to do it. And it is something that I think about all the time, that you guys listen and devote time to whatever it is we're going to put out. It needs to be good. We need to feel comfortable about it. And on that given Monday night, we were just zonked, wiped out of it, and elected to make the call to not do it. Isn't that great that we have that ability, that we can just make the call to move the show? Oh, yeah. And you're going to get a much better show. Now, Giovanni is not going to be here. He's going to be on Skype. But it's still going to be much better. It's going to be so much better. Oh, yeah. Got the Roval this weekend. Roval ready. And I am excited about it. I'm very excited. I had a lot of conversations with a lot of people. Talked to Matt Smith. He's going to the Roval. Possibly. On Sunday. Talked to Alan Reinhart. He might go to the Roval. Everyone is talking about going to the Roval. And I'm thinking to myself, they have created a buzz with this the first time in a long time. Is this must-see racing? And I think it is. And that's good. Is it exactly what I wanted? Was I for it to begin with? I don't know. I don't think I was. I think I might have been against it. But now I'm for it. And I've seen a lot of the testing, and it's clearly going to be a total crash fest. It's going to be crazy because it is so tight, and there are areas that are very low speed, and there are areas that are high speed. And putting 40 cars out there, it's going to be very interesting, and I will be locked in. Now, I won't be able to watch completely because I will be out at the Miami Hollywood Speedway Hall of Fame induction ceremony that is going on this Sunday, which I talked about in my time at the tail end of the NHRA Nitro show. But yes, I am so thrilled and so excited. I am being inducted into a Hall of Fame. I will soon be a Hall of Famer, which is hysterical. Hysterical. We'll get into it. Let's go out to the phone lines and see who exactly is out there on the wide open line. Who exactly is out there on the wide open line?
It is I.
Giovanni in Miami. Wow, there he is.
Producer extraordinaire.
I thought you were coming in. What happened?
No, with the change of strategy with those poker guys and stuff.
No, I was just telling everybody.
I was just up there right now.
I was just telling everybody that you're not going to be in the studio. You'll be on Skype because we were just not feeling it on Monday night. Like, we tried, we set up, we were there, we were in position, and we just looked back and forth at each other and just we didn't have it. We didn't have what it took to pound out a show.
Yeah, one of us didn't have more than the other, but
you're going to blame me. You're going to blame me. Yeah, you were ready. Well, you didn't get up and travel and fly in multiple flights since 5 a.m. and then listen to the poker job.
I'm not the one that.
Listen, it's so much easier for you to just sit there
ourselves for not being able to
and do nothing. Just sit there and look and say 10 words and then expect. That's what you do. You're an expector. It's all right.
You're the host. I'm the co-host. You see, there's a pecking order.
I feel like people consider you more of a sidekick.
Oh.
So anyway, we're going to advance the ball regardless and put together an amazing 45 minutes to an hour of content for the WFO audience out there and get them fired up and eager for the weekend, which will contain a lot of stuff, including the Roval Ready, man, the Roval 400. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a crash fest. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be bedlam. Formula One, Russia, must win. Vettel, must win. Victory. And I'm not saying that. That's not my answer. Everyone is saying it. Must win for Vettel. We'll talk Fantasy League and the SportsCollision. Can't help but get ready for the Major League Baseball. It's October is coming, days away. October, final games of the season, plus the Miami Dolphins are perfect, baby. We're talking Super Bowl. We got a lot to talk about. We got enough.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Super Bowl, huh?
Talking Super Bowl, man. Yes. The Dolphin fans are booking tickets already. We're ready. Where's the Super Bowl this year?
Atlanta. I believe it's in Hotlanta.
It's in Hotlanta. There you go, man. The Dolphins led by Ryan Tannehill. We're going to go. We're going to the dance. Just let me have my fun, okay? Let me have my fun. I watched the highlights. I thought it was pretty.
We'll talk about that in SportsCollision.
SportsCollision coming up later on in the show. But right now,
forget the show. Finally, back picking winners. The great Bob Smith had Kyle Busch at Richmond.
Yes, and I was just about to get into the results.
It's been about 3 or 4 weeks of futility.
We're not having a perfect chase.
I gotta say no, but we can still close it out and go 9 out of 10, which I believe I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I believe that's exactly what we did last year, 9 out of 10. And if my memory is suiting me correctly for this season, we've been very streaky. I believe we didn't pick Daytona, but the next 12, 13, maybe as many as 14. I think 13 seems to be the right number.
No, we did. We had a good run, a very strong run.
And then we went about like another 6, 7, 8 maybe weeks of futility, and then we picked about another 3 or 4 in a row. And I think this would have been about another 4 weeks of non-winners. And so I could see us closing out, picking 9 straight to close up the chase and have a record-breaking season.
Well, that's great optimism, and I love it, and I'm happy about it. All right, speaking of Richmond.
Dude, that's the kind of guy I am.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just a positive bunny.
Yeah, you are super positive like 40% of the time. The other 40% of the time, not so much, thus bipolar.
Well, what about the other 20%? That could be the difference.
That's the float, It depends. Depends on what's going on. You've got 2 different poles going on. But let's get into...
Well, there's Gio and there's Vonnie, so you never know.
Yeah, exactly. Kyle Busch gets the win out there in Richmond, a big win. And he didn't have great stages, but came up there and got it when it mattered most. Kevin Harvick second, Martin Truex Jr. third, the big 3 in the top 3, with Chase Elliott fourth, and Kyle Busch bringing home another win. Let's hear from Kyle.
Obviously, just it's really good to have the win. To be able to go into next week. I think anytime you can automatically punch your ticket to the next round, that just makes it even better. Being able to come here in Richmond in the fall. Whoever said I didn't win here in the fall race, I got you. We won here now. So, finally, again, I didn't know what was eluding us from being able to win here in the fall, but we were able to get it done tonight. So, it was a handful out there, that's for sure. Car wasn't great early, but once we got some adjustments to it, it really woke up, and car kind of came to us, continuation all night long of the sun going down and just getting better and better, so that was good.
Kyle Busch, huge victory out there, and advances. That's it. So we now know a couple of drivers have already advanced. Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch are into the next round of racing, and we'll have to see how it'll...
Martin Truex Jr.
And Martin Truex Jr. That's right.
On
points. He's already clinched. And so...
So in theory, Kyle Busch would have probably advanced on points too had he not won the actual race.
Blocked the spot. But
the
big 3 and the top
now
3.
Harvick, I know we're doing the recap, but quickly before I forget, Harvick only needs to come in 37th to advance.
So there it is. And then those stage points,
he pretty much
first
doesn't blow an
stage.
engine in the first lap, he should be okay.
Well, you only drop 4 cars. And so this is the easiest round to get by. And, of course, the big 3 is getting on through. Let's give you the rest of the results. Kevin Harvick second, Martin Truex Jr. third, Chase Elliott fourth, Eric Almirola fifth, Austin Dillon sixth, seventh, Kyle Larson, eighth, Jimmy Johnson, ninth, Brad Kay. Rounding out the top 10, Clint Boyer. 11 through 20, Eric Jones, Alex Bowman, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Joy. Ryan Newman, who's going to Roush Racing to drive the legendary number 6 car. Pretend to be Mark Martin. Denny Hamlin, Daniel Suarez, Kurt Busch, Ryan Blaney, and William Lord Byron, 20th. 21st on back. Jamie McMurray, Paul Menard, David Reagan, Michael McDowell, Matt Kenseth, Cole Custer, Bubba, Ty Dillon, A.J. Allmendinger, Chris Buescher, Regan Smith, Corey LaJoie, Ross Chastain, Matt DiBenedetto, Joey Gase, Landon Castle, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Alan Day, Timmy Hill, and Greg Galding. And those are your final results for the 61st Annual Federated Auto Parts 400, the lowest-rated NASCAR race on television we have seen in many, many, many years, maybe ever. 1.0 rating. I started the show talking about that, how I was just kind of blown away and baffled and don't understand. Yes, NBCSN is, not a powerhouse channel, because it's not like Fox Sports 1 that used to be Speed Channel, where a lot of the racing people were already there already. NBCSN, I don't know what that was. Wasn't that like, what was that? That was Versus.
Something like that.
It was Versus.
There you go.
But before Versus, it was Outdoor Network, and then it became Versus. Point is, still not everybody goes to that channel. It's not like a big channel.
Yeah, but it's not like if it's lost somewhere in the dial on the DirecTV or AT&T Uverse. It's right there, stacked with the rest of the sports channels. And now that it's got the NBC and Peacock brand, it's not completely, that I don't think that's got to do with it. It's got to do with more, I would say, the number of actual homes it's in. And I saw some ratings there from one of those sports, bulletin kind of insider stories there. And it's FS1 has crept up and is now starting to get close to reaching ESPN2 status. But combined, those guys are about 25% of ESPN in terms of reach and audience. And I'd say if FS1 is at, let's say, about an 80, it looks like NBC Sports Network is like at about 60. And so...
What are you saying, 60, 80? Is that percent of ESPN? What is that?
Well, no.
Because you just said,
25% of ESPN, which would mean that NBCSN is about 15 to 20%.
Okay. So they've still got a long way to go, but they're making inroads.
Yes, but I don't think that the number, that the one is a product of that, because when they put, other stuff on there, it's getting a number. It's a product of, and when they're putting them on regular NBC, they're not drawing 9s and 10s.
Yeah, but they never get 9s and 10s. The Daytona 500 doesn't get 9s and 10s anymore. Maybe 9s and 10s, the Daytona 500. But a 1, like there's got to be a combination. What's the story?
Very, very poor. I mean, that's, it was, I think, less than 2 million viewers.
That's a combination.
And mind you, it was
things.
on Saturday night. It didn't even go head to head with the NFL on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Now, but the truth is, I didn't watch, but I was working.
Yeah, but you were working.
I was working. We were at the track till 10 o'clock. Maybe everyone was watching NHRA All Access is what was happening. That's what the ratings of NHRA All Access are exploding. Of course, because I'm on there. But it is sad, and I don't get it, and I don't understand, and I'm wondering why NASCAR fans, if that is the case, they're just turning off the sport. I don't know why, because it's, if it's so bad, I don't understand why it is. You want to hear a whiplash type segue?
Hit me.
We have a whole mess of tickets for Ford Championship weekend that we're going to be giving away to WFO radio listeners. So if you want to go see the exciting Ford Championship weekend NASCAR season finale, you're going to have to do something. And we have tickets. I have, get this, ready? I have 10 pair for the Ford 400, the Ford EcoBoost 400. I also have Xfinity season finale and Camping World Truck Series season finale tickets. I have these tickets in my hand, Giovanni. It's in my hand, and the tickets too. And
wow.
We're going to be giving them away to WFO radio listeners. Now, the question is, how do we give them away? And in the past, it has always been whoever can use them, right? Like whoever will commit to coming to South Florida and reach out and agree to do something to help the show, that kind of deal. That's what we've always done. Maybe we'll do that again. Maybe everyone needs to email joe@wforadio.com or call in the show 954-889-6796 or reach out to me personally. But the bottom line is, I got the tickets, baby. I got the tickets. The tickets are in my hand, and I could put them in your hand if you do the right thing. How about that?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Get a hold of us.
It's exciting.
In Miami.
It's exciting. It's exciting. Now, one pair of tickets has already been given away.
They're starting to be accounted for. Oh, all right.
Well, listen, people are already into it. How about that? So from how horrible NASCAR is to the excitement of Ford Championship weekend, like a whiplash type segue. But listen, we are in a weird spot, okay? We're in a weird spot where this sport that, grew, first of all, won ratings like way back in the day when it was on those little networks. I don't know if it was getting like a 1. It was getting decent ratings, but it grew and grew and grew. And now, what's up? Is it Kyle Busch? He's so hated that everybody just turns off the TV? Is it, what is it? And I disagree with it. If I'm around on a Sunday afternoon and the race is on, or if I was home on Saturday night, there is no doubt I would have watched the race. There's no doubt. And I would have enjoyed it. It would have been fun. It would have been entertaining. But I wasn't home to bump those numbers up, unfortunately.
Hey, I had it on. I had on that, and I had a college football game. I have the multiple screens going once I'm able.
How can you not put it on? Like, where are they all going? That's what I want to know. Where are they all going? Where are all the NASCAR fans? Where did they go? What are they watching? From 4 shares to 3 shares to 2 to 1, down to a 1, not share, but rating. What have they said? Okay, my driver's retired. I was a Jeff Gordon fan. I was a Dale Jr. fan. I was a Tony Stewart fan. Fine. They don't have anybody. They're not watching anymore. Fine. But what are they doing? Where are they going? I don't get it. But we don't have to dwell because we got the Roval this weekend, and we're going to go Roval.
Ooh, and I expect it to be a crazy, like not like regular road course that you see action and bumping and grinding. I expect this to be like wild collision course, road course, because if the test that they had back, was it a few months ago, or is any indication, the cars are like on ice from that high speed banking to try and turn into the road course part in turn 1. It looks dicey out there, to say the least. And judging by everyone in the garage over the weekend in the pre and post race, no one really wanted to come here with having to win. Right.
And at the same time, there was I don't know if you saw the test video from a couple weeks back, but they were going off, and like you said, it was like ice. Everyone was sliding off.
Yeah, that's what I said. The testing. And that's exactly what I was talking about. They were all just going, everybody. I mean, it wasn't even like there was no need to bump somebody out of the way. They were just getting themselves out of the way.
The guy in front of you will make a mistake at some point, so it's no sweat. No, I know, but at the same time, there are lessons to be learned here, I think, in that. I'm excited. Aren't you excited? Isn't everybody excited? We got a tweet from Millerman, who has been MIA for a long time. He's taking a picture of his tickets. And that's how you know that there is buzz. When people take pictures of their tickets and post them, that tells you. And so what I am wondering is, Alan Reinhart was telling me he might try to go. Matt Smith was telling me he wants to go. Everybody wants to see this. Everybody that I'm talking to wants to see what's going to happen. There is a lesson in that you have to mix things up. And one thing we're very bad at in auto racing is mixing things up, like shaking it up. And this race shakes it up because we don't know what we're going to see, except we do know we're going to see a crazy crash fest. And everybody's excited about it, except for the drivers and the people who have to compete in it. They're against it.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's going to be fun. That's all you had was yep. That great point I made. You had nothing.
That I already gave you.
Just a yup. All right. It's fine.
What I had.
Hey, it's no big deal, man. You're not here. We got to do the Facebook, the Skype line, which incidentally sounds very good. Sounds very good. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back.
Oh, I should have tried the video Skype.
Well, I don't have my camera. I could see you.
Oh, okay.
Who cares? I'd prefer to use the bandwidth for the fantastic audio.
The video so we can see each other, and even though it's a semi-delay, there'd be more of a cue.
Nah, no worries. I'm not worried about it. What I am worried about is telling all the WFO radio listeners out there about audible.com/WFO Ignition. Audible.com/WFO Ignition. And it was so great that one of our listeners gave us a whole list of the different books that you can listen to on Audible.com. But really, I don't know what you're into. If you're into politics, if you're into history, if you're into adventure, if you're into just hearing about cars like the Shelby, all that stuff, you can find stuff that you will be interested in on audible.com/WFO Ignition. You want to go there, and your membership includes 1 free audiobook a month, exclusive sales, and 30% off all regularly priced audiobooks. You can start a free trial, which we want you to do that to support the show. Regardless, we want you to do the free trial and check it out and share what you're reading or listening to. Audible content includes an unmatched selection of audiobooks and original audio shows, news, comedy. Why aren't we on there? And more from leading audiobook publishers, broadcasters, entertainers, magazine and newspaper publishers, everything on audible.com/WFO Ignition. They have free apps for iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Phone. You're probably listening on an app right now. You can download and listen on an iOS device, Android, Amazon Fire tablets, as you can imagine. And unlike a streaming service, with Audible, you own your books. Your library is accessible anytime, anywhere, right from your smartphone. And they have this thing called the Great Listen Guarantee. Like, if you didn't like it, like I didn't like it, you can swap it, which is very, very cool. Go to audible.com, audible.com/WFO Ignition. And they give us our own line, and so they are tracking how many WFO radio listeners go and check it out. Hopefully the full power of the WFO universe will be on display. It's got speed control. It's got chapter navigation, all kinds of stuff. And look, why are they advertising on WFO Radio Podcast? And the answer is they know that you guys are up for listening. You're listeners. You'll listen to whether it be audio books on audible.com/WFO Ignition or whether it be the WFO Radio Podcast. You're looking to listen to things as you ride to work, as you do your job, as you do your deal to activate your mind, and they can certainly help you out. It is audible.com. All right, when we come back, we're going to delve into the Fantasy League. We're going to delve into several other things. We're going to talk a little Texas Motorplex coming up, all of that, plus Sports Collision, all that coming up after this.
This is WFO Radio.
Hey everybody, how do you start your day? You started off with a little coffee. And do you want something cheap and vacuum-packed with garbage? Do you want to pay for a retail coffee? It's like $11. Or do you want something that is good, like RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com? Join the Rodax Army. WFO users and listeners know all about it. Over 40 grades to choose from. This is roasted fresh per your order, not to mention hot sauce, spice rub. You got to call Marvin, get on the phone line, or go to the website, RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com. Check it out. That's RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com.
Start your education at full speed with the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Accelerate your career as a high-performance engine builder with classroom instruction and practical hands-on experience in the lab, on the dyno, and at the track. In addition to the blockhead and CNC programs, SAM now offers motorsport, EFI tuning, and an Associates of Applied Science degree. And SAM is a military-friendly school, approved to train veterans and other eligible persons under the GI Bill. Start your education at full speed. Go to samtech.edu today.
Hey everybody, this is Joe Costello. When I'm at the racetrack, I am always checking out the cars to see what's hot, what's cool, what is the nicest and best and most effective piece out there. And what I am finding is that the folks at Aerospace Components have got it going on. They've been in business for over 30 years. Everything is made in America, and they are family-owned and operated. Aerospace Components is a name known throughout the racing industry as one of the leaders in manufacturing high-performance drag racing products. And if you go to their website right now, Aerospace Components, you can check out exactly what I'm talking about. Check it out. That's aerospacecomponents.com. Let them know you heard it on WFO.
WFO Radio is brought to you in part by Extreme Velocity 3 Drag Racing. Download for your mobile device. Win your way on the show. WFO.
Hussey Performance Copperhead Gaskets. You got to call David directly. 724-318-8292. Hussey Performance Copperhead Gaskets for you engine builders out there. These guys are supporting WFO. Check them out. It is husseyperformance.net.
Subscribe to WFO Radio on iTunes. Never miss a show. And don't forget to write a review. WFO.
Now, back to WFO Radio Ignition.
WFO, welcome back, everybody. Giovanni, we are back. We are now back.
Hey, we're back.
We are
I
back.
guess you had potted me down because I was speaking and you couldn't hear me.
Yeah, well, with all the papers rustling in the background, you're just rustling and rustling papers. You're like shuffling papers all over the place. I decided to pot you down.
No, I didn't lose. Well, someone lost my good pair of glasses. Well, they weren't good. They were broken, but my favorite pair. And I'm stuck with these crappy ones that have those little things that go on the bridge of your nose. And so my hair keeps getting stuck in it, and now it's kind of like tickling my eye area. And so I'm having a situation over here.
Does anyone else find that absolutely hysterical as much as I do?
What do you mean, that I'm going blind?
No.
Well, actually, I'm not really going blind. I just can't see the stuff right in front of me.
Well, there's those sayings like, first world problems and such. People say, like middle-aged problems. Like my favorite reading glasses are broken.
Not my favorite, but the ones that I like. I generally get glasses that don't have those little plastic things that hold the bridge of your nose, because in order for me to really use the glasses, like my sunglasses and sort, if they rest on top of my head when I'm not.
Yes, exactly. And I'm thinking about
these glasses, when I pull them up on top of my hair,
get caught in your hair.
On top of my head, they yank all my hair, and now there's like hair stuck all over the stupid little plastic things, and I can't, it's bothering me. It's going in my eye, and it's tickling my other eye, and it's
Hashtag middle-aged problems. Don't you just hate, you sound like Andy Rooney, don't you just hate when your reading glasses get caught in your hair, and then it hurts when you pull them out? Yeah. Your 22-year-old self, if it could hear you talking, the mid-40 self, would probably jump off a bridge.
Yeah, no, my 22-year-old self would probably hate me.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, my favorite readers are not like the idea that you have favorite readers. Now, I'm getting there, too, and I'm sure everyone...
favorite is just that those are the ones that work well. So since they, you know what they look like? They look like those glasses that Wild Thing used to wear in Major League.
Yes.
Like with the black plastic frame.
Yes. I know the ones.
And so those are the best because they don't have the silly little rubber pieces like aviators do that rest on the bridge of your nose. Just the whole frame is like the thing. So, yeah, I'm having a very complicated thing because if I put them on, it's bothering my eyes. If I take them off, obviously, I got to back up to be able to see things. It has to be at arm's length in order for me to be able to read and see.
I'm going to tell you what you need to get. You need to get the kinds that
I don't think the audience is interested in this.
No, they think it's
all.
hysterical. No, they think it's hysterical. Listen, I feel like, all right, everybody, email me, joe@wforadio.com. You can certainly tweet about it if you want to tweet. Let's create the hashtag right now so everybody can weigh in on whether or not Giovanni's reading glasses are funny or not. Whether this subject is just as hysterical as can be, hearing a poor person just struggle with life. What do you think the hashtag should be? Gio's readers? GIOS readers? Gio's reading, Gio's glasses.
I don't know.
Gio glasses.
You know what? If this is not a reason for dying young and leaving a good-looking corpse, then I don't know what is.
Yes. You got to get the kinds that have the magnetic connection at the bridge, and so you can clip them together.
No, dude, that sounds expensive. I get a bunch of readers like at a dollar store because I'm constantly losing them and breaking them, man.
Shuffle them all out.
Absolutely not. I'm not paying big bucks for that. The only thing I ever paid decent and big bucks for is like sunglasses.
There's surgery you can get. You can get surgery. Why don't you get the surgery?
That would be like giving into this blindness and old man thing and stuff. Anyway,
what were you saying about this?
Moving on.
What were you saying about this not being funny? I know when something funny is happening, man. That's why I know when to drill down. I know how to do it. Now, listen, before we went to break, I told everybody about audible.com/WFO Ignition, but I do want to mention our other sponsors before we get into the Fantasy League, because everybody knows that this show doesn't happen on accident and that we actually have some sponsors for the NHRA Nitro show, but we like to mention them here on Ignition. And before we go any further, I want to do that. Like aerospacecomponents.com. We have racers that listen to this show, and it would just be the greatest thing in the world if they would call the folks folks at Aerospace Components and order a shifter, a vacuum pump, brakes, the titanium wave rotors for their race car, and let them know that they're listening to WFO. Aerospacecomponents.com, 727-347-9915. All kinds of great stuff. Like catspotlitter.com. Everybody's got a cat, right? There's people who have cats, and they got the cat spot litter going on, right? You can do it online, get a subscription, and be a part of the cat spot universe. Catspotlitter.com. Scott Palmer helping out WFO Radio. HusseyPerformance.net, the best, most accurate copper head gaskets on the market. That's HusseyPerformance.net. Once again, for the high-performance industry. Motorsportsguys.com. They've got Amalie oils and high-performance products to your door. Motorsportsguys.com. And you can get that free hat, the free Terry McMillan hat, by using the promo code WFO at checkout. But you got to add the hat to your cart and then use the promo code. Otherwise, it doesn't completely, you're not going to get the hat. Samtech.edu. If you don't add the hat, you cannot have the hat. Doesn't that make perfect sense to everybody out there? Samtech.edu. Did you know that the Samtech Factory Stock Showdown points are 3 drivers within 2 points, or 1 point? A tie between Archie and Stephen Bell, and Leah 1 point behind with 1 race remaining.
Well, actually, I did know that because I just saw something on it.
What, Lewis Bloom?
When was it that we did Nitro yesterday or whatever, Tuesday?
Yes.
And I saw that. I thought that was super interesting. And I'm actually, that's who cannot love a competition that's going down between 3 drivers separated by 1 point.
Absolutely. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure. We're always telling you to go on the Dragster Adventure. Go to frankhawley.com to find out more information. You driving a dragster that goes 130 miles per hour. What's better than that? Rodak's Coffee and Grills.com. Marvin Rodak. I'm really trying to get everybody excited about the holiday packs, baby, and like the holidays and sending coffee to everybody and just getting everybody fired up and contributing to their success in the new year of 2019 by giving them a little extra motivation and a little pop first thing in the morning. That is Rodak's Coffee.
Marvin was telling me that you could send your friend the Coffee of the Month subscription plan, too.
Marvin was telling you?
Well,
I would love for you.
For the sake of the discussion that's going on here, yeah.
I would love for you to communicate with Marvin, and we're getting ready. Everyone needs to know that.
Well, because I'm an idea guy,
Yes.
And I'm sure Marvin would love to speak to me about the ideas that I have.
No, he does. He did. He signed up 1 person to this subscription idea you came up with, and it was fantastic, the 1 person. No, he's right. The Coffee Club subscription is a real thing, and I would definitely do it. I'm kind of on the subscription. Like, Marvin sends me coffees he thinks I will like, and I enjoy them.
You're the one.
And it's an experience. It's an experience checking out all the coffee. Hangstifer's Metalworking Lubricants. Their goal is to make you more efficient in the shop, whether it be cutting or cooling lubricants for your metalworking. Hangstifer's on board with WFO Radio. And so we have got a full house of sponsors, and we are absolutely thrilled. Now, Texas Motorplex next week, okay? Thursday, after Hardcore Thursday. Thursday night, after Hardcore Thursday, downtown Ennis. We are all going to be down there. In the past, we would go by Marvin's shop, and we decided, as in Marvin and I kind of got together, and we thought about it, and we said, this is fun for us, but it's also very antisociable to everybody else. Maybe we should just...
It was like a private party.
It was a private party at Marvin's shop in Fort Worth where he roasts all the coffee, and we were getting a lot of people. Last year we had a lot of people, but we thought, let's do it at the Fan Fest where there's bars and we can all be there. There's live music, there's socializing, and we're going to just kind of dominate the thing. And so that's what we're doing. So if you're planning on coming to the Rodak's meetup, just go to the Fan Fest and, we'll be there and we'll be hanging out and it's going to be great. And I will have a great time. So those are the people that make WFO Radio sponsor possible, along with Drag Racing Edge Magazine and EV3 Drag Racing. I've been doing a much better job of getting the prizes out. And BigFishTools.com, Alton, who built the website, just all kinds of great stuff. All right, let's get into the Fantasy League results from a week ago. See, there it is. Like, there's all the rustling and the noise.
Oh, yeah, no, that's me clicking, looking for the fantasy results. I guess it's more considerably louder when I'm here. Maybe. I also had you like on, I guess, dare I say, speaker, so that I, could rustle around easier. But I'll put it back on the other thing. Maybe you won't hear me, or actually, I might even go a step further and use the touch on my computer so that it doesn't make noise.
Yeah, good job. You have a touch screen. Excellent work. All right, the weekly winner from the Federated.
This touch screen has ruined me, because every time I come up to somebody's computer, I touch the screen, and they get upset with that. So you use people that don't have a touch screen get upset when you touch their screen.
Do you use? I agree with them, but you have a touch screen. Do you use it? I mean, you're telling me you use it. You like it. It sounds like if you were to get another laptop next time, would you get a touch screen again?
Yes, because it's got both. Now, mind you, like when I'm building the show, it's not possible to build it that way. You need to use the mouse. But to just go online, it's definitely convenient.
Neat. All right. Here is the WFO Radio Fantasy League results for following the Federated Auto Parts 400, the weekly winner with 337 points. Easy E 009. Easy E.
Oh, Easy is his name.
That's right. Number 2, Tennessee Moneyman. Moneyman making a big move, 325. Southern Racer X tied with Moneyman, 325. 4th, Elephant Racers, 323. 5th, like Elephant Racers will probably come down for the season finale. He's been coming every year, man. We've been hanging with Elephant Racers.
I was going to say he should. It's like a tradition for us to get together and WFO here at Homestead.
It is kind of a tradition. A couple of years we had Rich and Saugus, and we've been having a great time. It's like a great time with these tickets. And it has been like amazing that we get this, pairs of tickets.
Where's Lowe? Is Lowe coming down this year?
I don't know.
I know he's been begging the wife to let him come down to South Florida.
See, we're already giving away the tickets rapidly, man. This is getting rapid. Like maybe we're going to get a bunch of people. They're going to email Joe at WFORadio.
Permission, but
we're going to have to. He doesn't have to come. She can just come.
Well, yeah. There you go. For your kids, I have a young one. They can hang out.
5th, the Northwest Nitro Fanatics. 6th, Hockey Kid. He's doing great. Also 6th, the Dirty Hippies. 8th, Mr. Fantasy NASCAR, 307. 8th, Giovanni in Miami, 307. 8th, 307, Black Falcons.
I guess it must be since it's mine, but on mine, it says my name before his.
I'm reading it off
I don't know why
Fantasy
you're saying his
Racing
name
Cheat
first.
Sheet.
Yeah, I'm on their site too.
No, man, Mr.
But I guess
Fantasy
I'm
NASCAR.
on my login, maybe it shows me first, but on mine it says Geo, then Black Falcons, and then Mr. Fantasy tied for 8th.
Wow, you have just uncovered something incredible. On my computer, it says Mr. Fantasy NASCAR, Geo in Miami, and Black Falcons 3rd.
Muy interesante.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, why would it do that? Bullswool 11th, Midnight 11th, Driving Hard 13th, Team 12 14th, 15th, Junior 24 48. And just for my own information, I know I had a terrible week. I only scored 250.
Well, go to 17. You got to mention.
Who am I mentioning at 17? Who is this?
Oh, well, mine shows
Team Gray. Oh, and Miss Little O and Team Gray are tied, along with Day Racing and DRT 99. A whole bunch of people tied with 297.
It looks like a lot of people had the same team for this because a lot of 2 and 3 players with the same amount of score.
Yeah, but Miss Little Low and Team Gray had different everybody, but the same amount of points. Kyle Busch for Miss Little Low, Kevin Harvick for Team Gray, Kurt Busch and Ryan Blaney for Team Gray, Ryan Newman and Eric Jones for Miss Little Low, and Lord Byron for Miss Little Low, and Alex Bowman for Team Gray, and yet they both ended up with 297 points.
Very interesting.
Yeah, what a week. I'm calling shenanigans. Something's up.
Why, because your team sucked?
Yeah, the whole thing. All right, here's the deal. At the top, the weekly lead has not changed. It is still Lowe's Jingones. Can you imagine Lowe being down in Miami at Ford Championship weekend, watching the final race of the fantasy season live and in person, and winning the fantasy championship?
No.
Like we could like bring the trophy down there for him to see it.
he could drive his arse up to the studio to see it, man. I'm not carrying that 70-pound thing anywhere. That thing needs an entourage just like the Stanley Cup. It needs one of those big black suitcases, like if it was,
I think it's
like
heavier.
I
think it's much heavier than the Stanley Cup, my opinion, toe to toe.
Well, that's what I said, but it still needs that big black suitcase and the white glove treatment and like a whole security for
Okay,
it.
wait a second. Something weird is going on here. I'm confused. Are you looking at the fantasy results?
Yeah.
Who is this Midnight?
That's Bobby's Bug Barn. I don't know if he changed the team name or inadvertently or somehow it changed it, but that's Bobby's Bug Barn.
Low is first, 72 points out is Midnight, who is Bobby's Bug Barn. I was like, who's Midnight?
As far as I know, yeah, look, that's a picture of Bobby. Either he inadvertently changed the name or somebody, I don't know, maybe he lost a bet or something. But if you click on it, that's Bobby in the profile picture.
What's Midnight? Bobby, what are you doing, man? Changing the name, that's going to freak out. Patrick is going to be very angry. Everyone's going to be very angry. You're not allowed to do that. We're not going to give you a penalty this time, but you got to change it back to the Bug Barn, man. What's up with Midnight? Please explain. Craig at Newhall, third. Gio in Miami, fourth. Gio climbing up into the top 5 once again. Fifth, 85 Racing.
Yeah, no, I'm a lot of points, but moved up, has slowly progressed a couple of positions each week, and having a good week, and everybody else behind you having a not a good week, and next thing you know, look at that, just 200 points behind, and only 100 points behind Craig. So.
You are the greatest fantasy player to never win a championship.
Yeah, unfortunately, it does appear that way.
85
but
Racing,
like
fifth.
I said, I think I came in third 2 years ago and second last year. So as things are progressing this year, I should catch Low sometime before the end of the year and be the winner and finally get my name on the trophy.
There it is. Oh, man, can you imagine Low being here for that? He would hate it.
Well, that would be great. That's something he should come down for.
Sixth, Mr. Fantasy NASCAR gains 4 positions after having a tough week previously. Seventh, Black Falcons and Millerman are tied. Ninth, Beer Eater Racing 81. 10th, Aviator Racing. All right, now on the fives, or as I choose. 15th, Junior 24, 48, up 2 positions, right behind Smothered and Covered and ahead of Highline Real Fine. 20th, Easy E 009. That's it.
Easiest name.
And the boys coming straight out of Compton. I can see her Almirolas is 24th, 25th is Woodchuck. Stubo, 26th. Super Gas Crew Chief. Haven't seen them for a while. Where you guys been? They'll be in, my guess is they'll be in Charlotte. That's my opinion. 30th, Team 12. 35th. There is no 35th, but there's a couple guys tied for 34th. Tom Inc. and Tennessee Moneyman, who is right behind the Dirty Hippies. Tennessee Moneyman is trying to make a move. Brian Spink, 40th. 45th, DRT Girl. 50th, Junior 24 LKB. 54th, WFO Joe. Right behind Fleetree. Fleetree plummeting like a rock, but still ahead of me. Oh, and I'm still ahead of Team Gray. Me and Team Gray are nose to tail.
Back to back, only 3 points apart.
Yep. I got to see that kid this week so I can talk some smack before he passes me again.
Or is that a tie? No. 3 points.
Man.
Yeah, 3 points.
I got him. I'm destroying him. Maybe I'll send him a video.
The numbers are fuzzy without the glasses. I had to back up.
Are we back on the glasses again? Hashtag Gio's glasses.
It's my specs.
60th, Intimidator Harley. 65th, Catch Me. And Brian, Louisiana, is only 3,900 points behind. Come on, Brian. Pick it up. And there is the Fantasy League results following Richmond this weekend. The Roval, set your team. What are you going to do? Are you going to do an oval guy? Are you going to do a road course guy? What are you going to do? Remember, road courses are the new Bristol. But to me, the Roval is the new Bristol. We could see fights. We could see crashes. We could see half the field taken out. We could see a guy slide from turn like 5 across the track into turn 12 and take out a bunch of people. Anything is possible. Anything is possible.
You got a guy going across the track like that, huh?
Yeah, man.
That's pretty interesting. I actually saw a thing. It's a 17 turn, 2 mile plus course. I mean, I think this is going to be a fun race. Everybody should be tuned in. I almost wish it was on Saturday night.
Yeah, well, I've got a big thing. I'm going to be out at a sports bar because of my Miami Hollywood Hall of Fame induction ceremony that I'm going to.
Oh, I thought that was first thing in the morning. I figured we'd be in by then.
11 to 3.
Oh,
but it's
I think the race starts right around that time, 2:30 probably. It's a 2.28 mile, 17 turn course, just to be precise.
It is now time for the Dirty Hippie Fantasy Tippy. Rich York with the tip of the week.
This is Dirty Hippies with your tip of the week. Starting at the Roval this week. A lot of unknowns. Probably going to be a lot of crashes. The only thing I can tell you is look to the Rolex 24. You guys got Larson and McMurray who have experience there. Jimmy Johnson has been around that. He knows what's going on with that. So those guys, Allmendinger, Truex, and Kyle Busch, I think those are going to be the guys that you need to roll with this week. And don't forget on your C team, you got Michael McDowell as well. It's Dirty Hippies, and that's your tip of the week.
And there's Rich's tip. Wow, very good, very good. All right, let's continue. There's a few things that I'm interested in. Obviously, the Dolphins and the Patriots this weekend. We'll talk about that in Sports Collision. But also the Roval. But I have been out to this Miami Hollywood thing in the past, and it's a nice little sports bar. It's like a Carolina ale house is what it is. And they got TVs everywhere, inside and outside. And so my opinion is that we'll be able to do everything. And I'm going to get some food, and I'm going to want to reflect. I'm going to sit back and reflect on a Hall of Fame career, Giovanni.
Yeah, no, we're all very proud of you. Do you get the gold jacket?
I don't know what I get, honestly. I'm a little concerned. Like maybe there's a plaque, or maybe I don't even know. I don't know. And of course,
maybe it's just like a
post-it,
like a handwritten certificate.
Like a handwritten certificate. Like I considered sending our EV3 winners. Like a handwritten first place. I don't know. But, this is not like a huge thing, but it's a huge thing. Also being inducted is Jungle Jim Lieberman. And so, and Joe Costello, which is kind of makes it a joke. But I'll take it. This is very similar to my County Line Dragway Street Class Track Championship.
Yes, absolutely.
It's very similar to that.
This is a little bit more than that.
I didn't decide to put myself in there. I have nothing to do with this.
You showed up on the day that they were having what they considered the yearly thing, and you won.
I went there because I knew there was an opportunity to win what they call their track championship. And anybody who knows bracket racing knows that a track championship is typically a year-long accumulated points thing. But this particular track, instead, if you win this one race, you are the track champion for the year, which was just crazy. And so I went and I won it, and so I'm the track champion. I even got a trophy to prove it. But I really don't consider it one of my greatest accomplishments.
All right.
But I am a 3-time track champion nonetheless. You cannot, at 3 different tracks. At 3 different tracks, yes. At 3 different racing facilities. Thank you very much. How many other people have that? That's going to go right below Miami Hollywood Speedway Hall of Famer in my pocket bio on NHRA National Dragster. Oh, it'll be there.
And you're going to put it right under all those trophies that are like in the box on top of the garage, right?
Yes. What should I do with those? Do you throw away trophies? Throw away? I'm not going to throw away trophies, but I got,
you don't throw them away. That's exactly. Dude, I've heard that, like, Wayne Gretzky's MVP trophy is, like, in the garage in a box somewhere, too. All right?
All right, good. Yeah, like, what do you do with them? I've got, like, 1 or 2 of them out.
Mrs. Gretzky doesn't want that stuff in the house.
Yeah, I get it. All right, let's segue into a little Formula One. In that,
and actually, really quick,
yes.
Ricky Williams' Heisman Trophy was in Poppy's garage for like almost 2 years.
Le Batard's dad?
Yeah.
Why was it there?
When Ricky Williams was here, for whatever reason, the trophy ended up needing a place to stay when he went on the sabbatical, that he retired and all that stuff, and it ended up at Dan's dad's garage.
That's funny.
I don't remember the particulars of it, but that is a reality, and it was there for at least a couple of years before Ricky finally came back and claimed it.
That's funny, and it just goes to show you that
I think that is hilarious if you think about it.
The trophies. Do I have any of the cash checks?
I mean,
Definitely not.
In Gretzky's case, at least it's his own garage. But Ricky Williams, that was like best college football player for 1 year.
Ricky
he
didn't really.
He had a great college career.
He didn't care about stuff like that.
Nah, he doesn't care about any of that stuff. He's like, one with nature and stuff. He's into his holistic stuff.
Oh, yeah. Run, Ricky, run.
Yeah. Until it's time to actually run, Ricky, then we'll throw it 3 times with Fiedler.
Stop. This is SportsCollision talk. And this
that
is
was
really
the end of my Dolphin fandom. So
Dolphin Crying Towel is really what that is. That's Dolphin Crying Towel, which we have not had this year.
Right.
And that one hurt in particular because that was for people that don't know, if you're a Miami Dolphin fan, and since the Miami Dolphins are going to be playing the New England Patriots, this was the Miami Dolphins versus the New England Patriots, and the winner of the game, I believe, was going to the AFC Championship game. I mean, right?
No, it was like the last week of the season. I think it had playoff implications or something, but because it was over the New Year's weekend, remember? Or right before, right after, it was when we were in Vegas that year. Remember? Not only that, it was that coincidentally we're all in Vegas and we're in the sports book and we've all plunged on the game and we're having a great time and the Dolphins were winning and it was in New England and it was cold and
they're
everything
winning and they got a
right
running back and then Lindo kicks it out. Finally, we have a running back and it's working and you're deep in your own end zone and you throw the ball 3 times in a row and nothing works and you get backed up and they just blew it, man. It was terrible. So let's stop.
Luckily, it didn't ruin the trip, but it was one of those things where everybody's night was definitely ruined. And that was when Mrs. Gio had the clarity to say, enough. We're here in Vegas on vacation, and you are going to forget about this or else. And so I said, yeah, you know what? You're right. And she goes, and this is why you shouldn't, why I don't root for the Dolphins. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I always tried to root for the Dolphins because they were the local team, but this was just
you'll be back if they make the Super Bowl with Ryan Tannehill this year. When they go to the Super Bowl, since we're talking, I know that. Don't crush it. It's a joke.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to crush your dreams, but
it's a joke. I'm just kidding. All right, let's get into Formula One because we got to do Haas F1 Report. But I want everybody to know about what's going on Formula One Miami. Story by Adam Cooper on motorsport.com. They were supposed to vote tomorrow. Thursday of this week. But what has happened is the folks at Formula One have gotten together with the city, and they are looking to delay it a little bit more to work with the partners. And so it has been deferred indefinitely, the vote.
Oh, that's terrible. That doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't. Here's the story. Let's see. The resolution for the city
know that they had already mentioned that it was more than likely not going to be for 2019. That at this point,
they already missed the deadline. They missed the deadline.
Right.
The Miami City Commission is to vote on Thursday on the indefinite deferral of the resolution to hold a Formula One race in the city. The resolution for the city manager to conclude a deal with the F1 organization for a race commencing in 2019 was passed earlier this year. However, in July, F1 confirmed that there would be no race next year, allowing more time to work on arrangements. Commercial boss Sean Bratches noted at the time that we are taking a long-term view, and as a result, we have decided in consultation with the Miami authorities to postpone sign-off until later in the summer, with the aim of running the first F1 Miami Grand Prix in the 2020 season. The late summer deadline has been missed. The resolution has now been listed on the agenda for Thursday's City Commission meeting under the to be indefinitely deferred category. This is understood to be a formality that in effect buys more time for negotiations to be completed. But that doesn't mean that the plans for the race are dead. The way our system works is if the item is deferred, it keeps getting put on the agenda until a decision is made one way or the other, a source close to the Miami City Commission told motorsport.com. F1 has some things to work out with various parties, so it's not ready to be considered. When we defer indefinitely, it doesn't come back for 6 months unless we specifically call it back to the agenda. Maybe F1 will work out the issues and come back to us. Maybe they won't. What's certain, there will not be a race in Miami in 2019, which we kind of knew that.
Yes, that was pretty much a given. Once they didn't get it resolved over the summer or whatever it was.
That's it. But, just to keep everybody up on the situation there. And, that's something that we will. Will we have 10 pair of tickets for Formula One in Miami when it comes?
No.
It's definitely not. Will we get there, get in there ourselves, for free with some sort of media passes? No. They're going to tell us no.
Yeah, I think we're going to do our best, and I think we probably will be able to.
I don't know. Maybe our friends at Haas can get us hooked up if, maybe.
Oh, I hadn't even considered that. No, man, I was going to pull the whole WFO thing and fight my way in there through that, man. This is a legitimate media outlet.
We are a legitimate media outlet, obviously, but Formula One is big time.
Entertainment media.
But also, maybe we want to be there as part of the Haas team. We want to go there as part of the entourage, Remember, we have really cool gear.
Like I said, that was my first idea the whole time.
Are you ready for the Haas F1 report?
Yes.
Okay, Formula One this week. Yes, we're going to get ready for the Haas thing. I don't want to delve too deeply into the whole. It's Vettel. It's must win. It's all of these things. But really, if Vettel doesn't put something up on the board this week and go out there and get a win, then and Lewis goes out and wins again, it's pretty much. I don't want to say it's over, but it's only not over.
Lewis having a monumental failure because
multiple,
including this weekend, there's 6 races left. So if Lewis wins this one, and what is it? Doesn't he already have a 40-point lead? And so at best, if Lewis wins, he'll have at least a 48-point lead. And that, to me, with 5 races left, yes, that's technically not insurmountable, but it would mean he would have to not score points in 2 races. And Vettel would have to win both of those races.
Yeah, exactly. Highly unlikely.
And the odds of that happening are very, very slim.
Highly unlikely. Now, in the Kimi Räikkönen saga, they're talking that he might actually test for Sauber this year, and he was over getting fitted for seats and whatnot. And there's been a lot going on with that. I kind of feel that, that is all part of the failure, like the wheels coming off Ferrari. Halfway through the season, just like a loss of focus, and just very sad. Like Lewis broke him. It's not over yet, but it seems to be the case. All right, here comes the Haas F1 report. The Haas F1 team race advance for the 2018 Russian Grand Prix, called Red Heat. Formula One's midfield battle remains hot as Haas F1 team heads to Russia. The battle for the top of the midfield in the 2018 FIA Formula One World Championship remains hot, with Haas F1 team in the thick of a fight that pits the third-year American outfit against industry stalwarts Renault and McLaren. 15 rounds into the 21-race Formula One schedule, Haas F1 team is fifth in the constructor standings with 76 points, 15 points behind fourth place Renault, with an 18-point advantage over sixth place McLaren. In the series' most recent race in Singapore, Renault was able to extend its advantage while McLaren closed the gap as Haas F1 team finished outside the points for only the second time in the last 3 months. Scoring 57 points since the calendar turned to June to legitimately contend for the best of the rest status behind the big 3 of Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull. Haas F1 team is in need of another points haul to reel back Renault and keep McLaren at bay. That opportunity beckons with the Russian Grand Prix September 30th at the Sochi Autodrome. The 5.848 kilometer or 3.63 mile 18-turn circuit on the grounds of the Olympic Winter Games is a vast departure.
The 22nd.
You're reading what I'm reading?
Well,
it didn't feel like a big enough number. I saw,
I have the press release that they sent us.
I know what XXII is, but it's just in 22. That just doesn't seem like enough Winter Games. So it confused me.
Well, if they're every 4 years, that's 88 years.
Yeah, I guess. It just still didn't feel like that's not enough, 22. It's a vast departure from the track Formula One just visited, the Marina Bay Circuit in Singapore. The course features 23 corners, blah, 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 et cetera, and so on. Haas F1 team struggled with the tire combination, suffered heavy front graining when its cars were outfitted with hyper softs. While the hyper softs delivered the quickest laps, they only did so for a very short amount of time, et cetera, and so on. Let's hear what Gunther Steiner has to say, the team principal. The same tire compounds you ran in the most recent race in Singapore are the same tire compounds you'll have 2005 in Sochi, it seemed that getting a handle on how these compounds would perform proved difficult. Despite your struggles in Singapore, do you feel the experience has better prepared you for Sochi? For sure. We learned something, but still, Sochi, the surface is different, so we have to do more learning. Singapore was at least helpful to have a baseline. Heading into Singapore, there was some trepidation because it was a tight, twisty track that didn't suit the Haas VF18 as well as other circuits. Does Sochi Autodrome allow for a return to the style of racetrack that better suits your race cars? I wouldn't say that Singapore was bad for the car. Obviously, we qualified 8th and 16th. 16th is not ideal, but sometimes that can happen. 8th is not a bad result. The race went how it went. It was mainly down to the hypersofts, which we had to start on Roman on, and that's how we got caught in traffic, and overtaking was very difficult. I'm pretty confident we can do well in Sochi, and we have been doing up to now in the season. And there you go. There's your Haas F1 report.
I expect both cars to score points this race.
Yes. Top 10, both drivers, points, both drivers. Let's do it. Let's get it on. Now, I will watch the race.
For the record, the next Olympics in the summer are in 2020, and they will be the 32nd Olympiad.
So it's not going to be a Winter Olympics. That'll be a Summer Olympics. Right?
Correct.
Right. Summer Olympics, which I like maybe way better than the Winter Olympics. You know, I like the bobsledding, and I like the curling, and I like that stuff, but Summer Olympics is just better. You know, we got track and field.
Curling, get out of here. Those people cleaning the ice with that damn broom.
Yeah,
that's what you like, really?
Yes, everybody does. What are you talking about? Curling is one of the most popular Olympic sports. Everybody loves it.
That's just so Canadian of you.
It's true. It's not just Canadian. It's anybody who likes to drink. It's a drinking game.
Oh, that's a drinking game?
Yes.
I did not realize.
You didn't realize? You obviously didn't watch any of it. They did like 50. What about Sandra Schmirler, the Canadian curler?
Yeah, she was great.
Let's just move on.
The way she swept the ice for that curling ball or whatever they call it.
Everybody loves it.
You're right. The curling is just so impressive. I mean, the skill that it takes to sweep the ice and throw a giant hockey puck across it is incredible.
We're taking kind of a right-hand turn here, but I am a little offended at your diminishing the curling. Not that I am a curler, but there's a broom, there's a stone, there's a sheet, there's all kinds of stuff. You know, you slide the stone on a sheet of ice. There's a target area, which is segmented into 4 concentric circles, man.
Yeah, wow, dude, you are really up to date on that. I think you're better, but you're more educated on that than you are like football.
The nickname is chess on ice. Okay.
Oh, no wonder you like it, you know, because you're so into the brain games.
Everybody loves curling. All right, I think you're in the weeds on this one.
All right.
The audience will let us know. Joe at WFORadio.com. But nonetheless, I digress. Now, I'm not going to boycott this race just because it's in Russia, but I am still very down on the whole Russian thing. And I just feel like there's just too much of them. You know, the Winter Olympics, and then this, and then that, and the World Cup, and now, you know, in Formula One, there's too much going on in Russia. I'm Russia'd out. I'm enough of Russia. They're in there. They're creating fake news. They're invading Facebook. They're convincing all my friends of all this stuff. I'm against them. That's all. Just wanted to get that in. All right. You want to take another break and then come back, and we'll delve into the Sports Collision. Are we going to make picks? We're going to make picks.
Vegas picks, yeah. Vegas picks and Sports Collision. And it's Wednesday, man. You're still on the Monday schedule.
Yeah.
Oh, I must not have sent you the updated show list with the Wednesday. I apologize.
I don't believe you sent me anything. No, I'm totally in the dark.
Yeah, no, that's what
fine.
it is. It must be. It's in the mail.
It's in the email. No worries.
It's in the email. It's stuck in the email.
Yes.
Don't worry, you'll get it soon.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yes, we're going to go to Vegas picks and then close out with Sports Collision.
All right. And, any final thoughts on the horrific, like a couple other NASCAR notes, just want to get in there, just because we claim to be a NASCAR show.
Okay, let's see what I've got. I got the Roval, the battle to stay in the playoffs, man, the bottom 4.
Yes.
There's a bunch of cars there, like that are all within harm's way, especially going to the Roval for the cutoff race. I like this, and I think that they should have left Talladega as a cutoff race of that second of the I guess that would be the round of 12. That like it always was. I kind of like that, and and just like that, it makes it more interesting.
The final
cutoff race.
The guys who are on the outside right now, as of the second, would be Clint Bowyer, Jimmy Johnson, Eric Jones, and Denny Hamlin. Those are the guys that will be out.
Bowyer and Johnson are extremely close, like within maybe less than 10 points each of gutting in.
Yes, 4 points
Jones
for
and Hamlin are kind of far. They would need to win.
Alex Bowman and Ryan Blaney are clinging to the last two spots, and Ryan Blaney is 4 points ahead of Clint Bowyer and 6 points ahead of Jimmy Johnson, and so that's 6 positions. And so, yeah, those two can get out there and do it. And I think if you're Jimmy Johnson, all you got to do is stay on the track. Just stay on the track, and you're going to be in good shape because everybody else is going to crash.
The reality is that even Chase Elliott and Austin Dillon are only 10 above the cutoff line, and Kurt Busch is 15, and Kyle Larson is 17. If any of those guys wreck, they could easily be out, and that takes you all the way to 7th place, really.
Absolutely, and like a big. The only thing about it is road course racing is because it is going to be relatively slow speed. And seeing the way it works, there's a couple of chicanes. It's not going to be like wide open, and then a lot of it is going to be slow speed. I think you will be able to go off and still continue. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see.
No, it appears so. But as I've been reading, if you cut through the chicane or if you go off course and all of that, they're making you do a stop and go, or if it's the last lap, you get a 30-second penalty. So. Like as in 30 seconds, not 30-second.
Right. Yeah, you have to automatically, you're 32nd position.
Not number 32.
Right.
But either way, we'll see. I guess what? I think practice is going to be really important here, and it'll give us a little bit of a better idea of maybe what is really, who's going to have it. Because like you were saying, it's really not the typical road course. You could have the car set up to go fast during the road course, the Roval part, or you could have the car set up to go fast on the regular track part. And so I think that's the whole point, that this is like, it's new. We have no idea. They've never raced here before. And a big kudos, thumbs up, whatever you want to call it, to NASCAR for even doing something like this, because this is very atypical of them to throw like a big curve out there just like that at a track. Well, obviously,
it was Marcus Smith came up with the idea.
It's never been done before.
Marcus Smith came up with the idea, and I saw an interview with him with Mike Bagley about it, and he said that he was thinking about that the fall race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It just was having a tough time competing with the All-Star race and the Coca-Cola 600, and that it just wasn't generating the excitement. And he said that a lot of people were talking about how there was not a road course in the playoffs, and that there should be, and that there were too many 1.5 miles. And so he said he got on the phone and gave a call and floated the idea. And that the idea, it took about 2 weeks to, kind of like hash it out, and they decided to go with it. And I don't know if you were on the line when I mentioned this. I think it was right before you called, but our great friend Millerman, who goes to all the Charlotte races and everything.
I know.
He tweeted, you're familiar with Millerman? You know who I'm talking about? He tweeted pictures of his tickets. And you don't see.
Yes. He tagged me, I guess would be the appropriate term, or at me, or whatever you call it.
Yes, at you and at me.
I saw the tweet.
And that shows that there's an excitement level out there. And Alan Reinhart talking about going there from Indy to see the race. And Matt Smith talking about not working in the shop to go see the race. There is a buzz about this race. Like, people are interested. I'm curious to see what kind of crowd. Is it going to be a packed house? Is all of Charlotte going to go to this to see what happens? Is it, recaptured in energy? I don't know. But what it definitely proves is this. you have to mix things up. You got to make some changes because stagnation in anything happens, but especially in like stock car racing where you get to know the track and this is what it's going to be and everybody knows what to expect, and that's just the way it is. They are definitely shaking things up, and you got to give them credit for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I'm genuinely excited to see what happens. And not only the fact that it's new and we have no idea really who's going to be fast, who's going to be good, and who's going to be able to stay on the course, but the cutoff race makes it even more compelling.
Total desperation.
You want drama?
Yeah, and a lot of racers will be complaining at the end of the thing. And so what my spies are telling me...
guys always whine and complain about everything.
My spies are telling me that next year, what they are going to do, exactly on this theme, is that the first segment, there's typically 3 segments, right?
Right.
The first segment and third segment will be run as normal. And the second middle segment will be run clockwise around these oval tracks. What? You're not into it? They go the other way.
Yeah, that sounds great.
You got to go the other way.
I'm just happy that there's one less mile and a half track, and it became the Roval. Everybody loves the short track and the road course racing because that's where excitement happens. That's where you get the old school beating and banging and
road courses on the new Bristol. No, definitely there will be.
The problem with the mile and a half cookie cutters is that generally speaking, one guy hits the setup and he checks out.
It's whatever. We all know the problems. A couple other things.
The reality is, look, you know what? Here, you want to solve the problem with NASCAR, and here it is. It's just as simple as this. Race the factory car, stock showdown kind of cars. Instead of having them as dragsters, you turn those new Camaros and those new Dodges and those new Mustangs, and we race those cars. Okay? Enough of these super sensitive aerodynamic cars that were made for a wind tunnel test. Let's race real cars. And yes, mind you, one manufacturer is going to have a slight advantage at times, but come on, the real reason that people loved the whole NASCAR and the thing is when real cars, or
that's a big part
more
of it.
Of a real car look.
That's a big part of it. I think it would be a great idea. I really have given up hope.
I know it's probably not going to happen, but that's really it.
That's something.
You want to solve it? Let's race real cars again.
Well, that's what the V8 supercars used to be, and everybody loved them. I don't even know. I think it would be very interesting, and I would love it. I just don't think it's possible. One other thing, Brent Dewar, former WFO radio listener and former NASCAR president, will step down, and Steve Phelps will take over the position as NASCAR president.
I believe he's not leaving NASCAR. I think he's just going to a different, position or whatever it is.
Well, Brent used to work at General Motors, and he was very high up at GM, and I met him a couple of times out at various races, a couple IndyCar races in Belle Isle. And when I was doing the satellite thing, he listened to the show and came over and told me some great things about the program. Like, man, I listened to the show, and you're a General Motors guy, and that's cool. And so that's why I claim him as a former listener. All right, let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, we will do our picks, and then we'll get into the Sports Collision. We're already way over. I was only going to give him 45 minutes, Gio, and now we're already way over. We're doing a real show. Want to remind everybody, we got these tickets to Ford Championship Weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. You all know the dates, and you have access to the Internet. So if you can use them, and you will use them, my number one priority, like with things like this, is to distribute the tickets. If you want to do something tremendous to increase our listenership, if you want to do that, but in the beginning, just email joe@wforadio.com, and we will begin the process of figuring out what you must do to win the tickets. And it will be great. There you go. We'll be back after this.
Ready, listen. Everybody, Listen carefully.
Now you listen to me.
Why do you listen?
WFO, you guys are number one.
Honest. Listen.
Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School. Whether you're a bracket racer who wants to get better or a thrill seeker looking to cross it off your bucket list, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School can put you on the right track. Don't believe me? Tell him, Frank.
No matter how little or how much experience you have, we've got a program for you. So if driving a dragster is on your bucket list, there's no better time than now. And if you'd like to be a pro, well, here's funny car champ, Jack Beckman.
Hey, this is Jack Beckman. Long before I was Fast Jack, I was a bracket racer who went to the Frank Hawley School. The time I spent there was some of the most exciting, intense, and fulfilling moments ever in a race car. I feel the curriculum Frank developed greatly helped me win not only the Super Comp, but also the NHRA Nitro Funny Car Championship. Frank put me on the right track. What are you waiting for?
Call them at 866-480-7223. That's 866-480-7223. Or visit frankhawley.com.
Download the WFO Radio app. It's sports radio for racing fans.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
The ultimate racing show, including WFO Radio NHRA Nitro, WFO Radio Ignition, the WFO Radio NASCAR Tailgate Party, news, videos, push notifications, and more.
I just hope I'm part of it.
Go to the App Store or Android Market. Search WFO Radio and download it now.
Hey, racers and race fans, I want to tell you about the motorsports guys. Terry McMillan from Elkhart, Indiana, has got a new venture, and we want you to hit the website at motorsportsguys.com. It's going to be a one-stop shop. They're going to have it all, but most importantly, oil, Amalie, better than it has to be since 1903, available at motorsportsguys.com. Check it out. Bookmark it, motorsportsguys.com. Terry McMillan stepping up as a supporter of WFO Radio. Check them out, motorsportsguys.com. Catspotlitter.com. Got to check them out. And, of course, think about getting a cat. There's so many little kitties out there that need a home. They need a home. But it's the litter. No, now you've got catspotlitter.com. So check it out. Cat Spot Litter, new supporter of WFO Radio.
This is Sean from Traverse City, Michigan. You ever get done with an episode of Ignition or Nitro and say, man, that's a good job. I'd like to give them a pat on the back and a cold beer. Well, with Patreon, you can. So send that drink down to Gio and Joe.
WFO.
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 Totally non-stop WFO, baby.
Here's your host, Joe Costello.
WFO.
Take me to the action. Take me to the track. Take me to a party if you're betting in the back.
Vegas, baby. Vegas!
Vegas, baby. Vegas. It's that time of week once again. The WFO Radio Handicappers can pick you winner like Bob Smith did last week. Oh, yeah, we're getting on a hot streak, baby. Time for the odds. Time for the picks for the Roval 400 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series race at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Roval. And Bob Smith puts the odds together. He is a legendary Vegas handicapper and creates the odds we read each week. We make 2 picks a week.
It's not actually the Roval 400, is it?
Well, that's what it says on my William Hill sheet. It says Roval 400.
It's got to be sponsored.
It says Roval 400. I don't know, man. Roval 400.
Come on, this is NASCAR, man. They sponsor everything.
Yeah,
but here you go, the Bank of America Roval 400.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because this was remember, this was always the Bank of America sponsored race.
Yeah, no, I know. All right, Bank of America Roval 400.
No, you're correct. It just seemed, I was like, I can't believe they actually named it the Roval 400.
Well, they're trying to make a lot of, a lot of splash with this Roval, man. Roval. Just everybody's like saying the word Roval. They like saying Roval. Say Roval.
Roval.
There it is. Here are the odds for the Roval 400. 7-2, co-favorites Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch. 4-1, Kevin Harvick. 17-2, Denny Hamlin. 10-1, Brad Keselowski, Clint Boyer. That's it for our favorite picks. Dark horses, 15-1, Joey Logano, Kurt Busch. 18-1, A.J. Allmendinger and Chase Elliott. 18-1, Kyle Larson and Jimmy Johnson. 30-1, Ryan Blaney and Eric Almirola. 50-1, Daniel Suarez. 60-1, Eric Jones and Jamie McMurray. 100-1, Ryan Newman and Paul Menard. 150 to 1, Michael McDowell. 200 to 1, William Byron and Alex Bowman. 250 to 1, Trevor Bayne and Austin Dillon. 250 to 1, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 250 to 1, Justin Marks. 250 to 1, Chris Buescher. 150 to 1, the field. All drivers not yet named. You know what, Gio? I kind of feel like this is a race where a dark horse could win. Like a really long shot could just win because of the chaos that is about to ensue.
Yeah, I don't think it's beyond the possibility, but more than likely it would have to be one of those really long shot dark horses that also runs well on the road course.
Yeah.
Notice
like
AJ
Michael McDowell
Allmendinger is not like on a regular road course where he's in single digits
like
or
Paul
a favorite.
Menard. Paul Menard could do it.
18-1.
Ryan Newman, 100 to 1. Ryan Newman can get around a road course. Ryan Newman.
I definitely think that Ryan Newman at 100 to 1 is a possibility. Even I would say Menard, maybe even Austin Dillon if I'm misremembering that he runs pretty good on road courses.
I'm going to play it pretty straight with my picks,
Chris
but
Boucher.
what I'm saying is that this is an opportunity to maybe steal a little money for some really savvy NASCAR fans out there who happen to be in Vegas or able to gamble. But nobody knows. Like all the
not
odds.
Just Vegas anymore, my friend. If you're at Monmouth Park in New York, or if you're in Louisiana, or some of these other states now too, it's no longer just Vegas, baby, Vegas.
I don't know if they have the NASCAR odds, though. Do they have NASCAR
yes,
odds?
the William Hill's got a sports book at Monmouth Park.
How cool is that? Oh, my gosh. We're finally getting there. Bob Smith.
Yeah, maybe Bob will move back to the Jersey Shore.
Bob, Joe, Gio, Rich. That is the order. And we're going to start off with Bob Smith.
Hey, guys, WFO. Good to be back. Apologize for being absent the last couple of weeks. It's been crazy around here, and hey, this weekend's going to be crazy too.
It's been an awesome, busy season, and Vegas is doing well, so come on by and stop at a William Hill.
Good to be back.
Gotta love it. I'm getting so excited I can't stand it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a guy that does well here, or actually does well everywhere. I'm going to go with Martin Truex. I think he can get it done. So that's who I went with as my favorite.
Now for my dark horse,
Kyle Larson. He's going to get a win.
I think he's hungry. He wants it. He's going to get it.
Should be a good one.
Enjoy the races and WFO.
All right, Bob Smith takes Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Larson. We're going to have to get Bob on here for real one of these days. Well, look, you don't even do Robo Bob anymore.
I can try to do Robo Bob since I'm going to spend the next 13 hours producing this show.
Like you did last week's Picks show. I got to tell you, last week's Picks show was really great. I worked really hard to make sure everybody had.
Everybody heard it.
Yeah. What, they didn't? Oops.
Yeah, they did. What do you mean they did? Of course they heard it.
Real disappointing. I'm up. Next up. And, I want to get on the board here. I'm cold as ice. I'm going Kevin Harvick, 4-1 for all the reasons, right? Harvick can get around a road course, and Harvick is a solid driver, and Harvick, they think he can get around the course. Finished second last week, and why not? Give me Kevin Harvick, 4-1, good as anybody. And now the dark horses, I did think about going, super long shot with a Paul Menard or Ryan Newman type, and figure that maybe they can get the job done. But in the end, I went with a guy who won on a road course this year already, Chase Elliott, 18-1. Like maybe he's feeling the road course thing. So
definitely, that's a good pick.
So give me Kevin Harvick and Chase Elliott. Chase at 18-1 and Kevin Harvick at 4-1. Next up, Giovanni in Miami.
Yeah, all right. Before I get into my pick, Joe, you definitely got to get on the board. You have not picked a winner since, as I whipped up the charts and graphs here, since Charlotte at the 600, where you picked Kyle Busch. That was your last winner. You've got a good amount. You got 4 winners on the year, but they all came in the first what is that, 12 races of the year?
Yeah.
So, you've put the onus. Bob, Rich, and I are the ones who have had to, bring the team along and keep us on this winning.
Okay, whatever.
You gotta do something.
Make your picks, okay? It's pointless because I'm already going to pick the winners anyway.
All right. Well, as everybody knows, these playoff races are won by playoff drivers. Huh? You like how I did that? And if Joe didn't point it out, and maybe I wasn't listening yet, or either way, as he ran through the results, I believe that the top 16, which are the playoff drivers, all came in the top 19 in the previous race. So it's very difficult to move up, and all these guys are all in there just circling around like vultures trying to stay in the playoffs. And so I thought that one of these playoff drivers that's kind of on the outside looking in is going to have to do something and get in there. And so rather than take one of these guys that you guys have not picked, as in Kyle Busch, or I really considered Denny Hamlin. I think he, being in last place and has consistently been a very good road course driver. But I decided to go with Clint Bowyer, another guy on the outside looking in at 10-1, who has won a couple of races this year and is a streaky driver and could get hot and win a race here. And for my dark horse, I looked down and I very much considered also one of those multiple really long shots. I considered Suarez and Almirola or Jones there, and I believe those guys are in the 50 to 60 range. But I settled in and just came down and said, you know what? Give me a guy like Kurt Busch at 15-1. Playoff driver. He's not on the outside looking in, but a win would secure his spot. So I would take Stewart Haas Racing, Clint Bowyer, and Kurt Busch. Ha!
There you go. I like it. I think they're good picks. And I actually had Kurt Busch written down and then second guessed for Chase. I love the Kurt Busch pick. I agree. I think that's a solid pick. Good pick. All right, next up, Rich York.
All right, for my favorite this week, going with a guy who usually does pretty dang well at the high-speed road courses, or road course Watkins Glen. He's won a lot this year. He's outstanding on the ovals. He's outstanding on the road courses, so why not pick him for the combination Roval? I'm going to go with Kyle Busch. And as for my dark horse, this guy's been kind of under the radar all year. Still in the chase, still going strong. He's pretty good on the road course races throughout the year, so I'm going to go with my dark horse as Joey Logano this week. So Kyle Busch, Joey Logano.
And there you have it. Rich York making his picks. Who did Rich York pick?
Well, what? You couldn't hear him?
No.
He picked Kyle Busch and Joey Logano. Joy.
Kyle and Joy. Kyle Busch and Joey Logano. All right, to recap the picks for the Bank of America Roval 400, Rich York takes Kyle Busch and Joey Logano. Giovanni takes Ryan Newman and Moishi Pupik. Joe Casillo, who is your favorite?
I did not take either one of those guys. I took Clint Bowyer and Kurt Busch.
That's what I said. Clint Bowyer and Kurt Busch. I took
Bowyer
Kevin Harvick. Bowyer and Busch.
Bowyer and Busch.
Kevin Harvick and Chase Elliott, and Bob Smith takes Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Larson. And those are the picks for the Bank of America Roval 400 out there at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Take your picks. Have a good time. You'll be out there. It's going to be mega.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
And there you have it. Wow, that was a great picks show there. No, I actually walked out of the studio.
I actually enjoyed doing the pick show. This is one of the advantages of doing the Wednesday show.
Yeah, no, I like the pick show too. One Monday, it's impossible. I did one for everybody last week. It was one of the greatest things ever. I sent it to Gio, and he just didn't do anything with it. He sat on it, and he didn't put it out.
Well, I didn't literally sit on it, but yeah.
He didn't put it out.
It was unavailable. It was unavailable for air. There was technical difficulties around the Geo estate that did not allow me to get the show up.
Whatever.
Or anything else for that matter.
The effort was made. By Joe Costello. So there you go. Want to remind everybody, of course, we got the tickets going on, but I will be out there at the big Fan Fest with Marvin Rodak this coming Thursday. In Ennis, Texas. It's downtown. There's a nice little downtown. There's restaurants, there's bars, there's live music, there's cars there. It is a growing thing. It's not quite the block party out at Golden, Colorado, but it's a pretty fun thing. And so we're doing our Marvin Rodak meetup out there, and you should definitely come on out. Also, things of note, things of importance. We're going to do the Carlos Hawkins stuff T-shirt drive coming soon. So if you want one of those really cool WFO T-shirts, did you see Kathy with her WFO T-shirt?
I did.
Yes. Send me an email, joe@wforadio.com. I'm thinking $15 per shirt. That includes shipping. You send me I'll send you a PayPal request, and we'll just knock them out that way, and I will ship them out. But there is no XX, and there's like 2XL. They're like regular large shirts, and so you have to be normal stature. You cannot be like our listening audience. Huge stuff.
You cannot be like the great Gio.
No, you're way too fat to have one of these shirts.
Well, not just that. Look, first of all, I've seen the size of the shirt, and I don't know what size it was you gave him, but the great Grayson wears one, and it's just slightly big on him.
Yeah, no, they're little. He has a small, but they're little shirts. One of our listeners, I forget who it was. He's a big dude, man. No, he's one of our great guys, and he's a big dude. And he wanted a XX, but there were no XXs, and so I gave him one of the sweatshirts. I sent him one of the sweatshirts. He's on Patreon. He's one of our Patreons, and I threw in though a shirt for the ladies. And he took pictures of himself with the ladies' shirt on and posted them. And he's like,
hilarious.
I love my shirt. And I feel like it was all a joke. But part of me thinks maybe it wasn't. Who knows? But anyway, on that note, it's time for everybody's favorite show within a show, which I'm actually considering giving it its own show. So it's not a show within a show. So it will be its own show, but that is something I'm considering at another point. It's time for the Sports Collision. Giovanni in Miami is going to do some stuff and make some picks. What's first up on the Sports Collision, Gio?
I'm lost. I can't hear the sound effect, or is it playing?
It played. Yeah, if you hear me go...
Did it really?
Yeah, if you hear me go, Sports Collision, you can just assume that you heard the sound effect. It just played. Like then.
Well, how come I can't hear it? I'm not adding that later on, so you better play it if you got it.
It's on there, man. It's on there.
All right. Well, let me set the timer quickly so I can go. All right, Sports Collision. Well, where would you like to begin?
Well, I think we need to start with the perfect Miami. No, you want to start off with Tiger Woods. I know what you want to start off with.
Of course I want to start out with Tiger Woods. You've seen how excited I was Sunday.
I did not see how excited you were. I did get some texts from people, and Mrs. Giovanni texted me that it was very exciting watching Tiger. I love Tiger too, and I can't imagine. I was obviously very upset that I didn't get to see it, but I was doing
a mosh pit, like hundreds, maybe thousands of people. It looked like an ant farm roaming following him. It was great. And not only that, but I'm sure this was coincidental. It just happened to be whatever. God, I should really.
Can I pause you? Can I pause you for a second? I need to pause the Sports Collision. Because right now the Yankees are losing to Tampa Bay 8-3, but they've got the bases loaded in the ninth, and Aaron Judge is up.
Oh, that's funny because I have the game on here, but I've got the volume turned down, so I had switched to something else, and I wasn't actually watching.
Well, yeah. What it is
like
that
it's on a separate window.
This is a critical moment right here. We're down by 5, but Judge, who's clearly a home run hitter, is up. And El Gary is on third, and the bases
we were
are
down
juiced.
4-3 the whole game, and they when Tampa Bay started scoring a bunch of runs in the bottom of the eighth,
Aaron Judge, base hit. It's going to score a run.
What we were doing.
Okay.
Oh, you see, I guess you're watching on the regular TV because I'm much slower on the computer, and he just got the hit now.
Yes. And so now Judge is on. The bases are loaded, and that's going to bring.
I believe Stanton.
Yeah, it's going to bring Stanton.
No, the great Luke Voigt is up, man.
Oh, even better.
Luke Voigt.
He's got a chance.
Yeah, big guy. I love this kid.
Yeah,
this
Voigt
Luke
is incredible.
Voigt guy he was like a throw-in on a deal that got rid of Shreve, and he's turned out to be the second coming.
Well, I've got, Rich Schaefer, who is the NHRA Southeastern Division Director. He is a St. Louis Cardinals fan. And he was telling me, because that's where Voigt came from, right? He was telling me
Shreve over to the Cardinals, and the real thing was we traded Shreve was for international money, and Voigt was a throw-in essentially.
He says that Voigt was good; they just had no spot for him over there. That Voigt
I
was.
guess that's why they threw him our way.
And the kid is huge. Apparently, Dom Lagana told me that there was a video of him one-handed benching 190 pounds.
Well, he's a big boy. I like my athletes to be big. I generally don't like the vertically challenged athletes that are small guys.
Yeah.
For all the obvious reasons. But anyway, segueing back to Tiger was great on Sunday, and the gallery was unbelievable watching him. But at the last 9 holes went commercial free. And I want to say that Coke was the sponsor or something that paid for that, or whoever the big sponsor of the whole tournament was, decided that Sunday, the last 9 holes were going to be commercial free. And as is, it was a Tiger. So it was essentially following Tiger and the
Luke
leaders.
Voigt, get back, get out.
Last.
No! Oh, no! Unbelievable. Did he catch it?
Oh, wow. He gave it a ride to the deepest part of that park over there. Oh,
did it bounce?
The guy dropped it. No, the guy dropped the ball.
He dropped the ball? He dropped the ball. I thought he got it. That was to the deepest part of that.
Third, or is that your judge? Yeah, no, the kid dropped the ball. It looked like the guy dropped the ball. It was a great play. If he would have, if it was to that deepest part of the Tampa Bay Stadium, which is like a,
here comes the replay.
It's got a weird angle over there in deep center.
Yeah, there's like a little corner.
Gave it a ride here. The replay's on.
He did drop it. There it is, and he hurt himself.
He clearly dropped it because he had to pick it up.
Did they get this guy at third? No, he was safe.
Judge
is safe at
ran
third.
into third, but Boyd had to go back because everybody. It appeared at first that he had caught it.
No,
he made a great play on the ball. No, but he never caught it. He got lucky that it got stuck between him and the wall. Is what it is.
But, man, that could have been gone right there. Like, what kind of a park is this?
That's a home run in almost any other stadium, to be honest with you.
Yeah. There's a one little tiny spot where it's like 600 feet.
Well, yeah, no, you're not kidding. It does. It had a weird angle, that stadium does there. But anyway,
what a terrible
field.
So
we got to watch the 9 holes on Sunday, clearly commercial-free. And so that was it. I'm happy to see Tiger back, and I feel that Tiger, the way he's been playing, he was leading up to this. He had been in all the tournaments this year. And more importantly, now we could maybe start talking about the way he's playing and the way he's physically. He looked back and he looked confident. He might be ready to catch Jack.
Another major.
Yeah. Well, we'll see next year. Obviously, there's no more majors left this year.
Yeah.
But
well, let's not go so far. Let's not go so far into that because it doesn't even matter. This is for Tiger Woods. It is its own thing. Stanton is up, by the way. It is its own thing in that, and Stanton.
Well, this is the first time he won a tournament since 2013, so that's 5 years. I believe it was the summer of 2013.
It's a big comeback, right, from all of the chaos that happened in his life, and everyone needs to understand that yes, he did cheat on his wife, and so that was not the right thing to do with her.
You know, like let's so. Anyway, I'm not gonna say that.
What?
That's not any of our business, really. Who cares?
What do you mean, who cares? No, it's not that it's not our business. What do you mean, whether our business? No, the guy did something that was hurtful to his family, and so people judged him for it. It wasn't the right thing to do. You know, you want people to do the right thing. You know,
Michael Jordan cheated on his wife. I never hear anybody talking about that.
No, it was wrong to do that. Look, the cheating on your spouse, on your children's family is wrong, man. That's wrong. You know, it's.
I'm not saying it's right, but it's none of my business. It's not for me to cast judgment on that.
But
why do we care if that Tiger got into a domestic issue with his wife, and nobody cares that Michael Jordan was a jerk who cheated on his wife, punched teammates, and did and by all accounts,
because
was not
obviously
a nice guy. They
care, man. They cared a lot. He was out on the road. They cared a lot.
No, Tiger, he had his incident, and the reality is that what really broke Tiger over the last decade is the injuries. 3 back surgeries. Remember, that last major he won, the U.S. Open, he was gimping around. It was when he beat Rocco Mediate.
Yeah.
And he was limping around, and he ended up having to get like a bunch of knee surgeries after that on that bad knee. And then he's had 3 back surgeries. He ended up having to get that back fusion. but he looks healthy now, and he's had a very good year. And like you said, you weren't able to watch the tournament, but the guy looks confident. And he was able to put together 4 great rounds. He was pretty much in the lead or tied for the lead the whole weekend.
Well, it's great. I really wish I could have enjoyed it. Obviously, I was working, but I got push notifications, and good for Tiger. All right, moving on. Obviously, Major League Baseball.
Since you want to talk
yes.
Yankees.
Well, it's now 8-7, man. Like, come on, this is a very critical game.
I got it on.
I know you don't really care.
I have the all-direction drive, and so I can. Sometimes it's the all-direction hyperdrive, but I can now flip around from window to window and still talk and give you my opinion on the SportsCollision. I mean, SportsCollision I could just do while I'm doing a million other things.
Well, why aren't you talking about the baseball instead of telling me about how you can talk about anything?
Well, at first I was talking about Tiger, and now we're going to segue now to the Yankees, who are right back in this game. By the way, meaningless game. We already clinched the playoff spot, and Boston's clinched the division.
What do you mean, home field?
Well, I guess home field for the wild card. You're correct, but I'll tell you right now, it all depends on how Oakland is doing tonight. And I think their game started just about an hour ago. They're tied at 2 in the second. We have. But with 5 games left, we're up 2.5 on Oakland. So we just really need it. The magic number is 2. Any combination of one win
and so
by us and a loss by them.
This is not necessarily a meaningless game.
Basically, right now, Oakland would have to win out, and we would have to almost practically lose out for the game to be in Oakland.
Look, we were down 8-2. If we can come back and win this one, this would be really nice.
It was 8-3. It was a 4-3, and then they scored 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be nice. It'd be great. But again, these games, as of right now, in the big picture, these games aren't that important. That's it.
We got to get home field. The Yankees got to get home field for the 1-game playoff. Got to get it.
I'm pretty confident that they will, to be honest with you. But the important stuff is next weekend. It all depends. I believe we might be doing the show on Wednesday, judging from what you and I were talking about and the schedule with the poker guys. It is up in the air right now. But if we do a Monday, then we will be on before. The wild card games are Tuesday for the National League, which will be on ESPN, and Wednesday for the American League, and that will be on TBS. So this is the time of year now that we're going to have to start looking for where the games are at, because remember, TBS will have one side, and then I believe the other ones will be on Fox Sports 1 is what it'll be once we go to the division series.
So it's
right now we got Tuesday and Wednesday, huh?
So it's going to be Wednesday. Then we're not doing the show on Wednesday. We can't interrupt the wild card game for the show. It will be horrible entertainment for the audience.
You're right. The American League wild card game is on next Wednesday. So like I said, we will be doing the show on Monday.
Yeah,
and we will be getting together.
Look what's
on
happening
Wednesday
right now
to watch the game.
To the poor audience that they're not Yankee fans, and they've been caught up in the SportsCollision as the Yankees are trying to score a run as Miguel Andujar, who's 0 for 4, comes up with runners on the corners and 2 outs in the top of the 9th. This is big. We got to push this runner across. All right, next up, SportsCollision. What
do you think of Floyd's haircut?
I love it. I think it's great. That's a very popular cut with the young people out there these days. Oh, and
By the way,
popped it up.
It's been such a pleasant surprise. It makes up for as depressing as Greg Bird was playing first base all year.
Yeah.
Oh, Andujar, always first pitch swinging, man.
Yep. And so we lose 8-7.
That's it. Game over.
Bummer.
Just like that.
Meaningless game. I like it.
Not entirely meaningless, but look at that. If we hadn't given up that 4 spot in the 8th, we might have won this game.
Exactly. Yeah, no, our pitching is a little sketch. But anyway, good luck to everybody in your teams in October. This is it, right? It's going to be, Boston won their division. Congratulations to Lowe and the Lowe family and all you Red Sox out there. Congratulations. Great season. Unbelievable. The Houston Astros have won 100 games. It's like, it's what an incredible season it has been. And now we are rewarded by the opportunity to see the most, the best playoffs, which is baseball playoffs, man. It's a grind. It's intense. It's almost not watchable, but we love it, and I can't wait. So good luck to everybody. Of course, the Yankees. Now on to the NFL. The Miami Dolphins are perfect after 3 games. Nobody really expected that would happen. Gio came out with some crazy stat, like it's been 20 years since they've been 3-0 and leading the division, which is great. We are still skeptics down here, but this is better than had they been, 1-2.
Absolutely. Now, to be fair, they've played 2 home games out of those 3 against opponents that one would say that they should have beat. And I guess, I'll be honest. I ran through the rest of the schedule, and generally speaking, I'm pretty sure they're going to win a game that they shouldn't, and they'll probably lose 1 or 2 that they shouldn't. And I'm predicting 8-8 anyway, even though they're 3-0 right now.
Well, maybe so, but.
And I believe I told you that they'd be anywhere between 7-9 and 9-7 before the season, so that puts us right about there anyway. But no, look, it is a pleasant surprise. But that first game, they played at home, and they played a Tennessee team that got all beat up, and it was that 10-20, that game that started, and
all right, we don't need to overanalyze every game as to why the Dolphins are not a Super Bowl team. We understand.
Okay, I thought you wanted to talk Dolphins.
We don't need to go back.
The Dolphins are 3-0, but they're not the only 3-0 team. There's another team in Kansas City that's 3-0 that's looking like the greatest show on turf, and there's a team out in Los Angeles that used to play in St. Louis. I'm sure those St. Louis Rams fans aren't all that happy. That's 3-0, and their offense looks pretty much unstoppable. And I love the way that they play because they never take their foot off the gas. They're just constantly, I think you could bet the over in every Rams game because they definitely don't stop trying to score. And that's kind of what's been going on with the league now, where we're seeing it. The teams with the offensive-minded coaches and the young, strong-armed quarterbacks are playing very, very well.
Well, that's great. They've been changing the league to make it more offensive because people like scoring, and so it makes perfect sense. And there you go.
It has. And speaking of changing the league, it's gotten a little out of hand with this roughing the passer. I mean, over the preseason, we kept talking about the hitting with the helmet rule, which was what they were really calling all preseason long. And it looks like, I don't know what happened, they shifted that away from this whole roughing the passer. I don't know if you've seen the highlights, but what's his name? Blonde, long-haired guy, Clay Matthews in Green Bay gets a roughing the passer every week. And all he's done essentially is tackled the quarterback and kind of fallen on him. And so now it's become where they used to call a penalty if you kind of, pile drive the quarterback, for lack of a better term. Now, if you just fall on him, it's been called a penalty. There was 4 roughing the passers on Monday Night Football, and I was looking at the stats. There's been 36 through the first 3 weeks, where last year there was only like 12 or 14. And so they're overemphasizing this rule. Everybody's calling them soft. From what I understand, the competition committee is going to take a look at this because, the one thing the league doesn't like is being, bad-mouthed all over the place and on every single sports talk radio and on all their, network partners. And when you have quarterbacks coming out and saying, hey, it's okay, we should be allowed to be tackled, then the league is clearly over-officiating something. And so the roughing the passer, out of control.
There you go. Excellent. All right, and there you have a Sports Collision here on WFO Ignition. Show within a show.
All right. Well, NBA Media Day was Monday, and there's a big Jimmy Butler trade talk. The Heat are aggressively pursuing Jimmy Butler, and down in the office, there's a ginormous Heat fan, and he gives me updates like every 3 minutes, whatever Woj is tweeting or whatever any other of the NBA guys are tweeting anything reporting the possibility of the trade. And at this moment, it has not gone down yet, but it does look like the Heat are aggressively pursuing bringing in Jimmy Butler from Minnesota.
Wow.
Which would be very good upgrade. Very, I don't want to say he's, LeBron James type, but he's definitely in that second tier of superstars. Very good two-way player, plays defense. and he would automatically be the best player on the team if they did bring him in. So
there you
go.
go. That will be great. Our own Carlos Hawkins stuff got to hang out with Shaq the other day, as seen on his Instagram page.
I did see that he was posting that stuff online. What was that for? Like, what was going on there?
Radio station stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember. But segueing back really quickly, the Brownies finally get a win last Thursday night. They hadn't won a game since December of 2016. And Baker Mayfield, I want to, offer an apology. He looks much better than I expected. And, we're not ready to crown him just yet. But he came in and led the Brownies to their first win in, over almost 2 full seasons. And congratulations to them for finally winning a game. It doesn't make Hugh any better of a coach, and as far as I'm concerned, he's still terrible. But I was actually happy to see the Brownies win, even though it disappointed my son that they beat up on his Jets.
Oh, there you go. And the Jets losing, that's kind of a cool thing, too. All right, there it is, Sports Collision in the books. Giovanni, any other final thoughts? Anything else we got to get in on this program?
Well, as you know, it's Wednesday. We do the show on Wednesday. There's stuff coming on Thursday. The Hurricanes have a big college football game. They'll be on Thursday night.
I'm going to the game.
There's also what was that?
I'm going to the game. I'm going to the Canes game. I will be there.
You're going to the game? Where was my invite?
I don't know what to say, man. If you had
my coworker is going. He's taking half the day off. He's going to be tailgating.
I'm going to be there. Give me his text me his information. He and I could go hang out.
I will, dude. You should see. This guy does not mess around with tailgate. He's like a tailgating pro.
Send me the info.
Like tents and speakers.
I got invited to go to the Canes game.
The liquor cooler, the water cooler. He's got a cooler for like each different beverage.
I will be sitting in the Canes Founders Club area. I was invited by Paulie the white guy to go to the game, and I said yes. And so tomorrow I'm going to be doing the Canes thing, man. It's all about the U.
Yeah, well, very good. And there's also a big NFL game now that there's a Thursday night game every game. This will be Minnesota at the Ramses, and so lots of action going on. College football's in full swing.
You going to make a pick?
Major League. Do I want to make a pick?
Are you going to make a pick? Fleetree wants you to make a pick.
I was ill prepared for this, but let me see. What do you want? A pick for Sunday or a pick for what? Or
one that will win. A winning NFL pick.
All right. You know what? Let's do this the right way. Let's whip out the schedule and the odds real quick and see. Like I just mentioned, the first game on the slate is Minnesota at the Rams. Right now, the Rams are a 7-point favorite. Like I said, they've been playing very well, but I don't like the fact that, these things are so based on what we last saw. And we've seen the Rams are 3-0, and Minnesota was playing great, and then they got beat up at home by Buffalo, which is highly unlikely. But I segue back. Let me look through the schedule. Miami plays New England. Houston is at Indianapolis. Cincinnati at Atlanta. Buffalo at Green Bay. Wow, Green Bay's a 10-point favorite against Buffalo, huh? Detroit at Dallas. The Jets are in Jacksonville. Tampa Bay at Chicago. How about Tampa Bay? They've been playing very good. The guy with the beard went to Harvard. Fitzpatrick, he's been very, very good. They lost on Monday night, but he's still, I believe it's some kind of record, 400 yards and 3 touchdowns for the first 3 games of the season. By the way, you've heard of this kid over there in Kansas City, Mahomes, being compared to a young Dan Marino.
Wow, I know that he's unbelievable. I've heard that he's unbelievable.
No, he generally is being compared to Dan Marino, to be honest with you. But you know what? I'm going to go with Oakland at home -2.5 over Cleveland. If Oakland, which is 0-3, if Gruden can't find a way to beat Cleveland, on the road, because this is the thing, Cleveland's young and Baker Mayfield looks very good right now, but young teams that they don't travel well. Young teams without a good offensive line. If you don't have a good offensive line where you can actually control the ball with your offense, it's tough to win on the road. And so I think that Oakland finds a way. This is Oakland, the team that's been leading all 3 games at halftime, just hasn't been able to close it out. I think Gruden, I've always liked Grudy, and I'm afraid that he might be stuck in 1998, and the game has really changed. It's now so offensive. But I'm going to say take Oakland at home minus the 2.5 over Cleveland as your pick right now. And to be fair, I just want to point out that Joe just chucked this at me without really telling me that.
You knew we were doing the show.
Special show appearance.
You know we do the show, and we're doing a Wednesday show, and that you are responsible for making a pick. And I love the pick. There you go. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. Thanks to Giovanni. Giovanni, great work.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Giovanni in Miami. And to all you folks out
Everybody enjoy the races, and we'll catch up with you on Monday.
There you go. And to all you people out there who have had such kind things to say about WFO Radio, I appreciate it, and great stuff. And, of course, download the app and tell your friends. And the tickets for Homestead, let us know, Joe at WFOradio.com. And all the emails will go into a vat, and then we'll have a kumite, and whoever wins the kumite will get the tickets or something like that. There you go. Now, if you're listening on the WFO Radio app or SoundCloud, you have to do nothing, and the next show will just play. And isn't that cool? You can just jam out to WFO Radio NHRA Nitro. And if you are not listening on the app, well, go listen to NHRA Nitro. Stevie Fast and Matt Smith, Steve Torrance, Tanner Gray going to round track racing. Very interesting stuff. Check it all out. And next week, we'll be back with more, talking Samtech Factory Stock Showdown, all kinds of stuff. And in the meantime, the archive is loaded. WFO, everybody.
WFO! The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
Yeah, welcome to the party.
Bye, bye, bye.